Hey guys, it's Ryan from Cross Tactical Airsoft. We're going to do a video today that kind of talks about utilizing cover and shooting strong-handed and shooting weak-handed. One of the things that we often get questions about, or that I see pretty often, is while we're playing games, I see people that get behind cover and either they hug right up to the cover or they keep popping out on the same side, and it's because they're not used to taking their sidearm or even their rifle, shooting and then popping around to the other side and shooting off the weak hand side. And we're going to talk a little bit about it today and help you kind of build that confidence to maybe inspire you a little bit to get out and practice a little bit with your airsoft guns. Practice shooting strong side and then transition and get off on your weak side. Practice getting to where you shoot from different points, up and down, left and right side. Get to where you can shoot either handed and from any side. Don't always pop out the same spot. Otherwise, when I'm sitting there with a bead on one specific spot, you go back in and then you pop out that same spot, I'm ready for you, okay? So we want to work a little bit on building up that confidence, building up that training on being able to switch and shoot strong-handed or off-handed. So we're going to talk a little bit about using cover and shooting weak-sided and strong-sided today. So let's take a couple of minutes and figure out what we're going to talk about when we talk about our cover. Okay guys, so when we talk about strong-handed shooter, whichever hand you write with is generally your dominant hand. For me, I'm a right-handed shooter. That's why I carry my pistol on the right-hand side. I also can shoot left-handed or weak-handed, but it took me some practice to get there, and that's what we're going to work on today. But before we get there, we want to talk about utilizing cover, okay? Think about cover, such as this piece of plate steel. Think about it as a straight line. Something comes and hits this thing straight line. Well, if it was a beam of light that came and hit this thing, it would only protect, you start from here as a cone and it goes backwards and angles out as it goes, okay? So if I utilize this piece of cover, ideally I want to stay back off of it just a little bit. I want to sit back about a foot or two off of it because it's going to come out as a cone. Now eventually that cone's going to die off and basically you're just exposed. But I see a lot of new players get up here and they hide right behind their cover. The problem with that is you're utilizing the most ineffective part of your cover because yes, you're protected solidly behind this, but it's only giving you the minimal coverage. As you back up just a little bit, that cone kind of widens out. Now, if you get back too far, yes, you're still exposed again, but you want to stay back up off of your cover a little bit. And we're going to talk a little bit more about utilizing your cover and transitioning and shooting high, shooting low. If you've got multiple players behind one point of cover, you can do something called a high-low. One player shoots high, one person gets down low and shoots low, and then you've got the guy that you're shooting against has to try to decide which one of you he's going to engage. So guys, it's really important, again, and I stress this all the time, train like you fight. So if you get out here and you're working on your training, get you a piece of cover and practice shooting from beside it, and then go to your offhand side and practice shooting beside it. We're going to show you some of that today, and hopefully will help you build that confidence to get out there and train a little bit more. So let's look at what it takes to look around cover, and then also what it takes to shoot from behind cover, because there are a few things that are a little bit different. Another key to keep in mind is if I pop out on this side and I shot 2 shots this way, I need to then make a transition to the other side and come out over here to make my second 2 shots. Guys, again, it's important to remember that staying back up off of your target gives you a larger area of protection. If I squat down right behind this piece of cover, I only have this much coverage. If I back up a little bit, I have a little bit more coverage. So even though I may be bigger than the tree I'm hiding behind, if I stay back off that tree just a little bit, it's going to give me a little bit more protection. This is where I can see my target. You see how minimally my body is exposed. That's as far out as I have to come before I can see you. How much of me can you see? Okay, again, now we're utilizing our cover. Again, I'm going to shoot strong side-handed, so I'm going to be shooting off my right-hand side. But something I want to make note of, when I'm using my cover, first of all, I need to stay back off of my cover a little bit. And as you can see, I'm fully behind cover. So you're not going to get a shot in on me. As I lean out to look at my target, that's when I become exposed. So this is when it's important to keep stable, and as you lean out to take your shot, you lean out, but only expose enough of your body to where you're only exposing enough of your body to take your shot and make your shot count. If you lean out too much, you become exposed. Again, only lean out enough to get that shot off. Okay, as you can see, when I lean out to shoot, I don't want to extend my whole body up and out and avoid my cover. I still want to use my cover and my concealment. So what I need to do is get my gun up to where I only have to lean part of my body out to get my shot off, okay? I don't want to chicken wing out and lay all the way out there to where my full body's exposed. Same thing if you're shooting off-handed. If I'm shooting left-handed and I have to lean all the way out on my right-hand side, I need to look at changing sides and shoot strong-sided. Now, conversely, if I'm shooting weak-handed, I don't want to try to shoot with my right hand if I'm leaning out the left side of my barricade. Because what happens is I'm having to lean more of my body out. As you can see, more of my body has to be lined out for me to get to my target. What I want to do is transition hands to my left hand so that more of my body can stay behind cover and I can still shoot. So what I try to do when I'm doing this is transition my pistol or my rifle to my left hand and only get to where I can see my target with the minimal amount of my body exposed. Again, guys, sometimes it's not the largest piece of cover that you can find, it's sometimes whatever you can find. So sometimes you're going to have to get behind a piece of cover that may not be large. Sometimes staying back off that cover gives you a little bit of cover off of it, not right up on it, then it only gives you the width of that barrier. Stay back off of it a little bit, it'll give you a little bit more cover. Also, don't forget to change angles and change sides. Shoot from different points and get from high to low, back to high. Change up so that you're not poking out the same spot every time. Okay, another key important part that I always seem to have to teach newer players, and it's just because it's not something that comes with common sense. When you go to reload your pistol, after you've shot and all of your rounds are expended, your slide will lock to the rear most of the time. What happens is most players drop their mag and go searching for their next mag, okay? What you need to think about trying to do when that slide locks to the rear, get your other mag out, drop one mag, insert the next one, and be ready to fire while you're trying to figure out where to put this other magazine, okay? It's important to keep your gun in the fight because if you get your gun out and your gun's not functioning, you're not in the fight anymore. Guys, make sure you train on this stuff because it's not human nature. And it's definitely not something you do all the time. Make sure you train with it because it'll come in handy later on.